I saw a very emotional and from the heart video post on Instagram over the weekend. Rather than me tell you all about it, I'm happy to say that mother, Tracey, who is talking on behalf of herself and her husband and her son, has agreed to come on air this morning to chat with it. I hope she doesn't find it too upsetting to relive it again. But Tracey, good morning.
Good morning, Neil. Thanks so much for having me on.
Not at all. I watched your post over the weekend, and I just thought we might chat through because you have 12-year-old twin boys, isn't that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I do. But just to clarify, I am a single mum.
Okay, fair play to you. Okay. Well, that doesn't need clarification at all.
Yeah.
You're a terrific mum. Well done for all you do. But during lockdown, one of your sons, Stephen, sat you down. Is that right?
Yeah, during lockdown one, we had literally been in lockdown, I'd say a week and a half, and Stephen, I think, bit the bullet and said, if we're going to be locked in the house for a long time, it's time to have the conversation. He was only 10 years of age at the time. Quite frank conversation, just sat down and was quite upset and just blurted straight out, Mom, I hope you're going to still love me, but I'm going to love boys, I'm not going to love girls. And it hit home. Now, as a parent, you obviously see the signs. You see it wasn't anything that was out of shock or surprise. But for a kid to be so in tune with himself at that age, correct. I have to say, I have to give him 100% credit for fair dues to him.
Yeah. I mean, it is amazing that a 10-year-old could put it like that. You know, if I'm going to be in lockdown with you for a year and a half, it's time to have this conversation. You wouldn't expect that kind of logic or rationale from someone so young. But so what? Your reaction wasn't surprised then, no?
No, not at all. None of our family were. Stephen has always been very much in touch with his feminine side, all growing up. Pink and purple are always his favourite colours. He always would have drifted towards girls' toys, as in dolls, prams, Disney princess dresses. He always would have been in touch with that feminine side of him, so that trait would have always been there.
And what happened next?
Well, what happened next was I decided, because of the lockdown and Cork Pride actually going ahead this year, which you were fantastic sponsors for. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's right.
I nominated him. There was a competition through Cork Pride at RedFM where you can nominate for the drag queens and a show to come and perform socially distanced outside your house.
Yeah.
So we got involved in that. I nominated Stephen. Stephen was chosen, and the 3 drag queens, which I'd like to mention because the backlash they've had is absolutely awful. There was Letitia Lachey, Liam B, and Queen Mia Gold, which are fantastic entertainers from Cork. They arrived to our house. We had an amazing evening with all the neighbours. The crack was absolutely mighty. Everyone embraced it. There's people hanging out their windows recording. It was absolutely fantastic. And then the following day happened.
Was that shared then? Is that the case? The videos were shared up on... Okay.
The videos were shared between Red FM's page, and I think a couple of other pages picked it up, but in a negative light. Cork's Red FM would have been very much a positive, outgoing, just showing what was going on and what you were sponsoring, but the backlash was quite the opposite.
So you're talking about the comments?
Yes, right. It started with the comments, but then it started with the keyboard warriors actually picking me out and sending them to me personally. Okay.
I won't go into a whole lot of detail, but I did ask the lads to ask you what kind of things they said. Do you mind if I just share some of them?
Yeah, you can share a few, yeah. Those were mild, I have to say.
These are mild. Kids are better off without that mum. The straight son will be turned gay because he's come in contact with drag queens, and that you as a mother are a total disgrace. They're mild, are they?
Yes. There's been quite other ones that are quite serious, but I won't get into them online.
So you saw these, did you?
Yeah, saw them all.
Yeah. And you sat down and read them?
I won't say all of them were strangers. I had 2 or 3 from my own personal contacts that have contacted me and told me I'm a disgrace.
Would they have been friends or ex-friends now?
Well, ex-friends, immediate block, sent the pride flag in a love heart and block straight away. Good luck. Take your negativity elsewhere.
From people that you would have known?
Yes, very much so. So it just shows it's not just strangers and keyboard warriors. The homophobia is deep within Ireland still.
And the Queens, you said they got abuse.
Absolutely ripped apart online. It was desperate. They were branded, I'm not even sure can they use the word, but they were branded as paedophiles, perverts. They were branded as negative, prying on children. It was absolutely horrific what those three entertainers went through. And let's face it, Neil, these are ordinary guys who do it as entertainment. They are no different from Mrs. Brown or Mrs. Doubtfire or the dames in the pantomime. They're entertainers.
Did Stephen see any of this?
No, thanks be to goodness.
Have you told him about it? Have you asked him whether he's...
I've had frank conversations because obviously the twins being locally out and about, I'm afraid that they would have heard it. So I have told him, and I've told him the reason I've set up the page on Instagram and all that, and he is 100% supportive, and he's delighted that I'm willing to stand up and speak out.
Do you think that his journey now over the next, 5, 6, 7 years, particularly through secondary school, is going to be challenging if this is an indication of what's to come?
I'm hoping I'm raising him right, that he will realise that not everyone is like that, because the good does outweigh the bad. Unfortunately, the bad are always the ones that shout the loudest.
But they say that these people, that they walk amongst us and that we know many of them and we get along with many of them.
100%. Absolutely. They are deep enrooted in our lives daily, and unfortunately it's ignorance and lack of education. These people are 100% normal. They can't choose who they love. Love is love, and end of. Let their choice is theirs.
And there's no restrictions or filters in place or security in place to prevent these comments. Is there no way that an algorithm can pick up, words to the effect of, there's a strain of homophobia going on here, we see this happening, and they just shut it down, no?
No, that's actually something that I have looked into, and as far as I know...
keywords?
Keywords can be set up, but I think it has to be set up by the person that actually receives the posts, and they're not going to set it up because they don't know the homophobia is happening among their page.
No, but there are keywords that are picked up by Facebook, for instance, and Twitter.
There's a couple of words now that I've blocked on my new page.
No, not you, just the actual platforms block.
No, I don't actually think so, Neil. A lot of the comments got through, even though those words were in them.
So you then responded yourself by setting up your camera and letting it roll. What did you say?
I basically just spoke from the heart. I was quite emotional at the time. I'd been through 3 days of absolute turmoil, but I decided I'm going to channel that anger and channel it into something positive. I don't plan on the page being negative in any way. I just want to shine a light on it. But I set up the page. I sat in front of the camera, and as a mother, I spoke that the hate and the backlash we received, because now I'm an ally of the LGBTQ community. I mightn't be directly involved, but I will stand up and I will speak out for them. It is not okay. It is not all right to sit there and to think it is one thing, to put it in black and white, Neil, and write it is a totally different thing. We're all entitled to our opinion.
I often wonder, does it just take the first one or two to give people free rein, to all jump in, that herd mentality?
Definitely sheep. But no, I just sat and I was quite frank, quite open, and it's on my page. You can watch it back. I have it saved as a highlight under our journey. But yeah, it was quite emotional, but I did not expect it to blow up the way that it has. And in a way, I'm kind of glad it did, because it really is highlighting the issue that's still within our community and the hatred that is there.
You don't regret in any way, shape or form then entering that competition?
No.
Okay.
No.
Why did you sit down?
Look at my page, Neil, and look at the photo of my son when those drag queens turned up. It is the biggest grin and the biggest smile I've ever seen my child with on his face.
It's great with people happy, isn't it? Why did you read all of the comments? I wouldn't.
I was actually told by my neighbours. I didn't know they were actually there. I didn't see most of them, and they were highlighted to me, and I went and looked. Now, I read most of them, but I haven't gone back and looked since. There's probably more since, but I suppose it was just to see what really am I dealing with in 2021. I didn't realise there was this mentality still out there.
Yeah.
We've forgotten that we were the first nation to vote in same-sex marriage in a referendum. We were the first nation worldwide, and we are still having this backwards attitude.
Yeah, sometimes it comes out for all to see, you see, and we get an opportunity
definitely
in your life to see what happens. Interesting text here. Vinny says, any mother who treats her son like that after finding out at 10 years old that he is gay is all right in my book. What a response. Your son is very lucky to have you as a mam. Well done, says Vinny. Just one quick one here. Homophobia, Neil, homophobia in Irish society has been normalised. How many times have you heard the phrase, that's so gay? Even kids use the phrase in a negative way. I guess we need to stamp that one out, don't we?
Yeah, definitely. And even the flippant word I heard, obviously the F word, not the F-bomb, but I'm not going to say it like radio. The one that, the one that would be attached to the LGBT community. I have to say that needs to be stamped out. I can hear that going around the supermarket. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous that they think that that word is okay. Or calling someone queer unless you actually know they actually identify as queer. It's not your right to identify anyone or use it in a derogatory manner. But you just need to stop.
But as a parent, you must have a worry, though, of the years ahead. Because, you know, we are all very protective of our children. You know, he's a very brave lad, like.
Very brave lad. And I have to say, I think he's got a good head in his shoulders. He'll handle it the right way. Even his people locally within our area be like, oh, you're the gay one. And he go, and? As if to say, what's your issue? You can see that little diva mentality is coming out already.
I mean, it's just his age. It's, you know, you learn something new every day. And, you know, at 10 years of age, one would think one would still be exploring sexuality. But he has a decision made at 10. That's extraordinary.
He came out, lockdown one would have started in March. So I'd say it was the middle of March when he came out to me. And I turned around to Stephen and I said, right, you better go call your brother and we'll sit down and have a conversation with him. And he eye-rolled to me and said, Mom, Edward is my twin. He's known since before Christmas.
Yeah, way ahead of you as usual. Yeah,
way ahead of me. So, but it just shows that they do lean on each other.
What's your next move?
I wasn't expecting any of this to happen, being honest, so just go with the flow and see what happens. But I'm going to drive forward with the page and hopefully help someone along the way, parent-wise or child-wise.
Good for you. Mothering with Pride is your Instagram. Mothering with Pride,
yeah,
isn't it?
It is. And thanks so much for the plug. But yeah, I'm just going to drive forward. Positivity. Love is love. Everyone is entitled to love whoever they want. None of our business. And Ireland just needs to realise that you have to accept and respect.
Many do, but we just need to drag the rest of them along, you know?
Exactly. Pull them to the forefront.
Yeah, you're the greatest. Tracey, lovely to catch up. Regards to you, Stephen, and all the family, all right? Take care.
Neil, thank you so much, and thanks for highlighting such a huge issue.
All the best. Cheers for now. Mothering with Pride on Instagram, lads.
Neil Prendeville, the voice of Cork. Weekdays 9 to 12. Cork's Red FM. Red FM.